Good afternoon. This is Dr. Lana Walton here, and today I'm going to be talking about an article that I published 2 years ago entitled, Why Do People Boast About Their Socially Created or Constructed Labels? And of course, many people don't understand that the concept, or won't understand the concept, until they do a historical backdrop of groups coming to America from all over the world. And when I wrote this article, I received a response, a comment back from someone, a lady named Miss Elliott, who stated, oh my goodness, I have been trying to tell people this for aeons. You have hit the nail right on the head. If only more people would begin to acknowledge this series of facts. If anything, we should be grateful that we are here at all. And my response to Miss Elliott was that, Miss Elliott, thank you. Just this week, an awesome message of Golden Awards was on being truthful. The Golden Awards was on television and I was watching it. And their message was that humans must believe in being truthful. And so I thought humans must look for truth in everything. And I looked for truth in writing this article. For if embraced, it can help us all see one another in a better light. And so I began to think about a French poet named Jacque Delittle, who quoted, "Chance make our parents, but choice make our friends." And I've always agreed with this saying. Reason being is because we human beings give so much enormous credit to ourselves for being who we've been socially taught that we are, who've been socially constructed to believe that we are who people say that we are. So in short, we have attributed our selves to that which we had no control of, overlooking the fact that chance did make our parents. We had no choice in the matter of what parents that we were placed with, did we? Some of us are very happy with the parents that we were placed with. We're just enormously happy because they supported us, they took care of us, they mentored us, they made sure we got the socialization skills that we needed. They just did everything, while other people are so sorry that they received the parents that they received. I talked to a young lady once who says that she used to pray every day that God would give her new parents. She had no choice in the matter who she was born to. And just as we had no choice in the matter as who we were born to, we also had no choice in the matter of what public school we attended. We have no choice in the matter of what country we ended up in, what city we ended up in. None of that. We don't even have a choice in the matter of what religion that we chose to that we're in. Until we're grown, we don't. So face it. Where we were born and raised, we had no control of, and most importantly, we had no choice of the matter of the color of the skin that we ended up with and the ethnicity that we were born with. None of us had anything to do with such a thing. Now, of course, as far as skin color is concerned, when we get older, we can resort to cosmetic, scientific research stuff to change the color of our skin, because so many movie stars and entertainers have done that over the years. But the fact is that yes, science has accomplished much, but even science cannot make something from absolutely nothing, nada. They must utilize something that was here from the outset to invent anything. So now, I don't want you to misunderstand me. I undoubtedly think that every human being in this gigantic world should like himself or embrace himself and take pride in the culture or the racial group that they have been grouped into or classified as being a part of. Because it's definitely possible to appreciate who you are while at the same time appreciate other groups. And no one's going to be considered a traitor, or shouldn't be considered a traitor, because he or she has the intellectual courage to appreciate and accept people who look different from themselves. Because for sure, we know that many different people throughout the world enjoy various contributions from other groups, cultures, such as the food. I love Mexican food. I love Indian food. I love Asian food. We've enjoyed people's cultural dances. We enjoy people's cultural arts, singing and sports. Even though a lot of times people may not like the group itself, hint, hint, I won't go into that for many reasons, but that's not the topic of this discussion. But they still enjoy the cultural things that group offers. And so we cannot wave a magic wand to wish ourselves into another label or race or ethnicity, can we? But I say that for too long, we human beings have worked to tear other racial groups down in order to uplift our own racial group that we were socially constructed to be in. And so for a moment, let's pretend that we know nothing about race labeling and classifying, or even that it was socially constructed or socially created in the first place for varying reasons. But we have nonetheless become so adapted to these labels and these classifications that we have succumbed to the psyche of it, and we respond to it. We are like sheep going to the slaughter with this mindset that pilots us towards resorting and boasting and praising and giving accolades, bragging or yelling or shouting out about whom we have been classified or labeled to be, to the point where we view other labeled groups as inferior to us, and ourselves inferior, superior to them, recognizing that we are by chance, not recognizing that we are by chance not who we are. We are not by choice who we are, but only by chance. And in short, we did not create our bodies that will deter with the dust one day in some grave or some cremation chamber, um, which will reduce our little bodies to its basic elements and dried bones and fragments. And so, what are some of those classifications or labels that we've been categorized into? We'll start out with Northern and Western Europeans, traditionally labeled as white or Caucasian people, including the English, the Dutch, the French, the Germans, the Irish, the Scots, the Welsh, the Southern, Central, and European, Eastern European, Slavic, Poles, Russians, Ukrainians, Hungarians, Gypsies, Italians, Greeks, Portuguese, Armenians, and then we go to the people of color, traditionally labeled as Native Americans, Haitians, Jamaicans, blacks from Africa, Asian Americans, Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, Koreans, Vietnamese, Cambodians, Laotian, Thai, Asian Indians, and Middle Easterners, Arabs, Americans, Syrian Americans, Palestinians, Armenians, Irish, Turks, and so on and so forth, Hispanic Americans, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Costa Ricans, Cubans, Salvadorians, Guatemalans, Colombians, Dominican Republicans, Bulgarians, Chileans, and on and so forth. So forth. All of these people that have been grouped and labeled, socially constructed. And we answer to it. We answer to it. Now, just recently, in the article, I said that I had attended a multicultural event in which I had witnessed the host stirring the diverse audience by shouting, "Let me hear from my Mexican Americans in this house. Let me hear from my white people in the house. Let me hear from my Asian people in the house. Stand. Let me hear from African Americans. Stand. Let me hear from the Middle Easterners. Stand." Wow. If you could have only heard the responding shouts of pride that were louder than those heard at a Dodgers football game. I'm sorry, the Dodger Stadium. I thought to myself, how about everybody shouting, "We're all in this together"? I thought to myself, even though we have differences, how about us all shouting something symbolizing our oneness in this country, such as, "This land is my land. This land is your land." I did not want to hear a bellow that seemed to pit one socially group against another, signifying that my group, my race, my ethnicity, my culture is better than yours. I didn't want to hear that. I did not want to hear that. But lastly, I believe that no matter what religion any labeled group practice, we all agree that we are not so great that we were able to create ourselves. We were not able to create ourselves. Surely somebody greater than you or I did it. Now, for me, that somebody greater is the true and the living God, Jesus Christ, God, the Father. Sorry, I don't believe in the big blast. I don't believe in the big blast. I don't believe that I could have been a dog. I don't believe that I could have been a cat, a snake, or a horse, a tree, or a mountain growing wild wood, ocean moving by stars and moon, etc. But hence, it makes no sense to constantly pat ourselves on the backs for something we were made by chance and not by choice. What we should be thankful for and grateful for is life itself. Is life itself. Is life itself. Is life itself. Because tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised, and all of this socially constructed labels and stuff will mean absolutely nothing when we hit the dust. Because we all came into this world through our parents. That was chance coming through them. It was not our choice. And what we should be doing is joining together as a people and agreeing that we are all in this together until we leave here. Because that is one thing that not one of us will escape, is death. And that's not by chance. That's by the choice of the designer who created us.